nice. We don't have to put our things on.
Now, all those things are done. Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yep, almost.
Did you get your
Jackie, you ready?
Yes.
Did you get
Okay, we're opening a hearing on case ID number 2020-1180, account 61821. This is a hearing by affidavit. It is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. At the table are Robert Hayden, Cindy Duck, Kathy Hoffman, Charlie Powers. Eamon Burke is the district representative. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anybody about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with anybody in violation of tax code, thank you, in violation of tax code section 41.66.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
District representative will now read the affidavit into the record.
We did this last year.
The affidavit. Well, this is the protest notice. We have the actual affidavit.
It's just the
Then
What
we
is
did the
that?
other person last year. Is that one up on the board, Charlie?
I don't know.
Oh, it's done. Found it. Okay.
Oh,
I just have to start here.
hey, Emma, if you bought it in 2020,
What is this?
How do the test for?
that's it.
Oh,
This is the,
Their
evidence
Because
to
you'll
look
get a
at.
bill
Oh,
every year, so if
Did
it
they make
transfers
copies for you?
after January
Yes.
1st.
So here's
Both
the
Then
affidavit,
he's
property
responsible.
payments getting made, there will be.
Oh,
okay.
This is
because
the
he's
protest.
responsible,
And yeah, because they'll just walk away from the.
they'll be like, yeah, go ahead, we don't care.
So they can actually both protest.
Got it. That makes sense, because if I don't pay it, the seller, I don't care, because you're the one that's gonna get the lien put on you.
Right. The affidavit of evidence reads, the owner is HCF Properties LLC, 675 Bering Drive, Suite 650, Houston, Texas, 77057. 713-334-1238, hcferguson@yahoo.com. Property description is lot 3, block 8, I think. I did the lot 3, block 8. New Pelican Point, 1607 Cape Valera Road, property ID 61821, Rockport, Texas 783. Reason for protest selected was incorrect appraised market value. Evidence says that there are 7 pages of evidentiary materials attached. Statement of facts or arguments are as follows. Property was bought after negotiation by a willing buyer from a willing seller for $150,000 on April 8th, 2020. Evidence as provided herewith includes general warranty deed and settlement statement. The hearing type selected is I do not intend to appear at the hearing either in person or by telephone conference call. This affidavit and the evidence submitted with it can be used for the hearing if I do not appear in person at the hearing, which is what we're doing. Section 7 says it was signed in Harris County by Herschel Ferguson, signed by Cynthia Shelton, witnessed by Cynthia Shelton. The evidence included begins with a notice from the appraisal review board.
That's what we did this one.
There.
I remember.
a date on here. It says, stress that they can't do anything about your tax rate, they have to provide evidence. And then it's a waiver hearing at the bottom. I will not be attending my appointment with the appraisal review board that's signed by HC Ferguson. Next is a page says from HCF Properties, specifying that the information he's providing is to be kept confidential. It cannot be used for any purpose other than this protest. And there's penalties for disclosure of confidential information. And then the general warranty deed is attached, which includes a consideration value of $10 other than valuable consideration. We should have a copy of this. It's public record.
$10 per lot, is that?
No, it's every deed says $10
Okay.
other than valuable consideration. We have a copy of this. It's, like I said, it's public record, and Valerie basically keeps records of these things. Sold as is, and then there's the page with it. And the last page is a settlement statement for the subject property. And if you look at line 101, it says contract sales price, $150,000. And that concludes.
Yes, okay.
And that concludes the property owner's evidence. And for the district evidence, all I'm going to present is that we are totally in agreement with putting their value at $150,000 for the year as a result of it being a normal market sale. That's normal for us to do.
You are?
Yeah.
Did you
Yes.
offer this to him?
We got this information when you did. You didn't give this to us until it was in this evidence.
Okay.
We had a contract document before that said 135, but this is the real sales price, the contract sale price. So if we had gotten this before, we would have just gone to 150.
Okay. So are you done?
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna present.
So I'm gonna make a motion. Unless do you have to present yours?
I did.
Okay.
Presentation was agreement.
You agree?
Yes.
Okay. So on account number 61821, taking into consideration the incorrect appraised market value, based upon what I heard from the district and from the property owner or their agent, I make a motion that we lower the 2020 value to $150,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Well, we're good. Where is that?
Yeah.
So where are the homes that are, because I see like on the right side, I see two homes that are,
I think I almost bought that one.
which one? The whole?
One of those really long skinny lots out there on the side.
This is known as New Pelican Point.
Yeah. It's been around, well, it's been platted for a long time, because I think I came here in 2007 and I was looking for something and I almost bought it.
You know, after the hurricane, they offered that thing where you could reclaim your land out in the water, and you had to do it by a certain date. If you had lost it, you know, due to wave or whatever action,
Oh, sure.
that if you filed the paperwork, they would give you a legal document showing that that was indeed your land. It wasn't Corps of Engineers and all that good junk.
Cape Valero was planned to be a pretty significant housing development. The infrastructure for it is so big, there's like a 2.5-inch water main
Is that the problem?
feeding Cape Valero because it's supposed to be supporting quite a few houses. And it just didn't get built out. As a result, the water doesn't have the flow that it should. The water can't be sitting stagnant in the pipe that long. So the city has to go out there once a week and crack a valve open and just blow like an hour worth of water into the main. Yeah, to get it to flush it out, because if you don't, it's just not moving enough. They had a huge water main out there for the house. So as it gets built out, it'll support it. It's set up for, to be completely covered in neighborhood.
Well, and it's a beautiful, I mean,
Well, it's interesting to me that after the hurricane, it seems like people have reignited their interest in it. Busier now in the last
Yes,
2 years than it has been
you're
in the last
right.
20.
people with kids have bought. They're not just renting homes that were
Oh, sure.
left there.
Yeah, and they're
They're
building.
buying.
People are building. They're
There was one really nice house out there, 2-story on stilts.
Was it out right on the water's edge?
There was one of these down here. It was there when I was looking in 2007.
I bet it was our friend Steve and Susie. They lived in Seguin.
Right.
And they owned a car dealership there. And they had it got pretty badly knocked around in the hurricane. And now they've moved here full time, but I guess the hurricane just did it to them. So they sold their property there and now, poor house.
That's the second time I've heard you mention car dealerships. Did you used to own a car dealership?
Yeah, we had Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Temple, and we had Gatesville,
What's
Killeen.
today? What's yesterday's date?
For a little while, we had one in Waco,
Today's the
an interest, and we had an interest in one in College Station, LaSalle.
What year was that? Was that before or after Mercedes or Fiat? The Chrysler dealerships, right? Chrysler got bought a Mercedes like 15 years ago, and then Fiat.
2005.
That was just before the Mercedes.
Yes.
So you guys are still fully domestic.
Yes.
That's interesting.
We had PT Cruisers, and then there was, what was that car? It was so, well, we had General Motors, we had Ford,
Oh, really?
yeah,
What was the name of the dealerships?
Tranum Country,
What was that? South Texas.
Temple, Killeen, Gatesville, Cameron, Rockdale. We were there in
Oh.
Rockdale when the Alcoa plant was just closing down
Oh, wow.
when we left.
I went to the Chrysler for about 6 months.
I'll tell you what, my favorite was Dodge trucks. Because I could drive anything. And sometimes when, people wanted a car from another dealership that we didn't have,
Mhm.
then,
Oh, yeah.
when we'd be driving back a bunch of vehicles. Oh my God, anytime I drove the Dodge trucks, I just loved them. And the company was easy to work with. It was a good company to work with.
Yeah, we were a Chrysler dealership next to a Hyundai dealership. We also had Hyundais and a used car dealership. But
Well, we had used car too, you end up having usually a used car, and then of course we had people out in the field that would go to all the sales in Dallas and Houston and
right,
buy cars for us for the used lot.
my kind of bread and butter was the Jeep Wranglers.
Oh my God, well, I'm telling you, I love that company out of all of them, I love. Now, Bill's,
They have brand new Jeeps. I think they're coming out with brand new Jeeps.
well, yeah, and they're bringing, I had a Bronco for a little while, they were cute,
My
oh
first
my,
car was almost a Bronco too.
And I had the baby blue with the white top. It was so cute. Oh my gosh. I just had that for like a month or so. It was,
So we got paid straight commission, and there was a draw. So it was a very competitive work environment. But we got paid front end commission on the vehicle, but also the accessories. And the things that people hated dealing with were people who worked for Boeing or for Lockheed or Air Gas or something, because they automatically pay $100 below invoice money. So you spend just as much time working with them as you do anyone else, but there's no profit, there's no fat on it. And the other thing that drives car salesmen nuts is what they refer to as engineer type customers. And they're like, they'll drive you crazy. All I want to hear is just the facts. They just want facts and numbers. They don't even want to go on a test drive. And you can't get them excited about it. And they're like, no, I'm sure the car's fine. I'm sure it drives great. A brand new car. I need to drive it. That drives car salesmen nuts. What's crazy is
I love doing
you love doing that. What's crazy is a good closing percentage for a new car salesman is like 24%. That's good. And above
24%
of the people that you
of what they paid.
Come in contact.
no, God, they wish. No, now it's pennies. It's pennies now. It's not.
new car salesmen make anywhere between 125 to 350 bucks every time a car sells.
It's penny. I mean, it's
So it's
everybody
better.
thinks, oh, they're ripping me off, and it's like, I mean, there might be a couple of places where they do, but really, they work for their money.
It's used
Yeah.
car sales.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they pay
Okay.
people very little for their purchase. Like, so you go to trade in a vehicle, and what's really strange is when you finance a new car, if you come in with $1,000 in hand, that will help you get a $20,000 car less than it will help you to haul in a beat up car and have the dealership pay you $1,000. The bank is happier to loan on the same amount, even though it's cash, it's completely equivalent. So we end up getting people trading in vehicles and saying, this is my old car, I don't really care, I'm just trying to get to a payment. And yeah, they could sell it on Craigslist for $5,000, but it behooves them to sell it to us for $3,500. So they end up doing it, or they don't care. A lot of people just basically throw their cars away and they buy new ones. And so you end up with some truck and you sell it used for
But that may not be the case
18,000, but you
at
bought
all
it for 11.
dealerships.
I know, like there
Because
was one
each
that,
has their own finance plan. Each
there was one
brand.
I got in trouble with my floor manager because I sold a guy a used truck because he wanted a 4-wheel drive diesel truck for under $30,000. And I was like, that doesn't exist anymore, dude. You can't get that one. And I thought, well, you know what? We have this one on our used lot, and it's like the listed price is like 28.5. And I was like, this guy seems to fit this dude's bill. He was a weird customer, but it was a very unusual truck configuration that somebody brought in, and I ended up closing it. And then I found out afterwards that there was like $11,000 of front end profit on the car. Like somebody traded the deal for like
For
16
nothing?
like 16,000 or something.
Gee.
And so I got paid this gigantic commission off this thing
But
for a
you
car that
screwed
was
that
cheaper than any
You
of the other
screwed
ones.
that
He
guy.
was delighted. The guy was delighted.
You should have sold him a new truck.
No, my floor manager was really mad. Don't take people there. He doesn't get anything for
I
it.
know what that weekend, four homes for him, so he gets a friend something. So we just go to the dealership and say, we want that car, and they have to sell it to us for
Okay,
price, 4 cents.
I'll just reprint this.
Well, the salesperson, I guess, isn't happy about that.
Yeah, that's,
But she was very nice about it and all, but
We had a-
that was it, there's no discussion.
Because they spend the same amount of time with you as they do with the person that they could make 300 off of.
There's a binder under the desk, the sales desk. It's this big, full of company names. little ID numbers. Like if you work for this company, you get,
Well, this was even if you were, this was a friend of her. What same situation?
oh, a friend of the owners.
We were friends of a gentleman who worked for Fort Walls. He gets these friend whatevers, as long as they have to sell it.
Well,
It was a nice price.
this is what I ended up doing, because like I'm not trying to like talk somebody into giving me money, right? But this was the way that I liked doing my job the best. Was selling people trucks and Wranglers. And if they work, even if they work for Boeing or whatever, and there's very little profit on a Wrangler as well. Like a base model Jeep Wrangler is marked up like $400, $500 from invoice. It's like the list, because they're just not, anything that doesn't depreciate quickly will have very little front end. So if you see a car that is just going to be worth garbage in 3 or 4 years, those things are incredibly marked up. There's a lot of room for people to help out credit distressed customers, getting $6,000 off or whatever. But here's the thing. We sold aftermarket parts that were, you get wheels and tires and steps and lifts and all kinds of stuff. If you go get those at an off-road shop afterwards, you have 2 problems. One, you have to fight with the dealers to ensure that it doesn't void your warranty. It's not supposed to, because it enhances the performance of the vehicle. It's a little bit of a hurdle. The warranty on those off-road shop wheels and tires and steps is usually pretty limited.
Okay.
And the financing you get for it is like financing for any other small $3,000 purchase. You do it at the dealership. Even though the parts and stuff are parts and labor is both more, you can put it on your car note, and you end up paying car note insurance on it, and then it's covered by the vehicle warranty. And the vehicle warranties are like 6-8 years long and like 100,000 miles. So you end up saying, yeah, you can take this and then go get your steps and wheels and stuff down the road for $4,000, or you can get them from us for $5,300, which is more.
Is this the one we did?
But it's going to affect your payment by X number of dollars per month, and it'll be completely covered in the warranty. And
David, hold on. Did you?
Oh, I was just gonna say, so we don't have anything else for the 1:30 docket. If you want to reconvene at 3 or stay, however you want to do it. If anybody calls in early, of course, we'll.
Do you have a key to the bar?
We're going to go out and get some.
that was my favorite thing. Everybody was happy doing that.
Take
The
that.
company made money, customers got a good deal, I had profit to get paid commission on, and I was thinking, man, we should do a lot more of this. And then across the street, I had 2 bosses. One of them was really nice and reasonable. The other one was one of the worst people I've ever